Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. I had a Slender for Life weight loss client yesterday that came in pretty discouraged, pretty down, which was quite a switch from the previous week. The previous week she was so thrilled, she was so excited because she'd started the program a while back weighing 300 pounds. Her goal weight was 150 pounds. And a week ago she had let go of 75 pounds. She was halfway towards her goal. She was thrilled, she was excited. She left my office just jazzed and raring to go. And then yesterday she came in and was pretty discouraged and pretty down because it's really set into her that she still had 75 pounds of body fat to release, to let go of. And that just seemed so overwhelming to her that she still had 75 pounds to go to reach her goal. And yeah, she knew that she should be thrilled and happy because she'd actually had a pretty easy time of letting go of the first 75, but that next 75 just seemed overwhelming and insurmountable, and she was really struggling with that. And I was reminded of several years ago when I climbed Mount Rainier. I was all jazzed, all excited about climbing Mount Rainier, and we went up to base camp and crawled in our sleeping bags, around 6 o'clock at night on a glacier on a bed of ice, and didn't sleep much that night, and got up about 1 a.m. and got ready to go, and we left base camp at 2 a.m. and started climbing Mount Rainier in the full moon. And it was long about 9 o'clock in the morning, it was a beautiful, glorious, sunny day, that I'm looking up at what I thought was the summit, and it was a good thing I didn't know that wasn't the summit I was looking at, and going, oh my goodness, this is just too far, I just can't do this, whose idea was it to do this? But I was also with a group of friends from the gym, and it was people that I'd been training with, and there was no way that I was going to be the one that was going to poop out on them and not make the summit. But there was all this chatter running about just please bag me and stake me to the mountain and pick me up on the way down, and that was all the negative self-talk that I had running, and I was just really struggling, but continued on, and there was the pride, the ego of I wasn't going to be the one to quit, and I continued on and just miserable and struggling. And then I had this awareness of, oh, this is the exact same place mentally and emotionally where I've always quit everything else in my life. That when I'd reach this point mentally and emotionally in a relationship, I'd back off. I'd reach a certain level of intimacy with somebody and I'd pull back. Or other goals, academic goals, any reports that I was writing or exams that I was studying, I'd reach that certain level of mental emotional distress and discomfort, and I'd back off. And it also happened with money, it happened in career, it happened pretty much everywhere in my life. I recognized that this was the spot, mentally and emotionally, where I quit. And I continued on and was really puzzling with this. And then finally I just made peace with it and acknowledged that, yeah, this in the past is the place where I quit. And instead of focusing on how far there was left to go, I focused on taking the next step. And when you climb a place like Mount Rainier or other mountains, you do the rest step, and you take a step and the one foot's resting while the other one's taking the step. And so I was doing the rest step, and I just took one step at a time. Well, we went up and over that peak, and sure enough, there was a whole lot farther to go. But it was about 11:30 or so in the morning that we reached the summit of Mount Rainier, and I did it by taking one step at a time. And it was a beautiful, glorious, warm July day, and actually ended up laying on my backpack in the crater in a short-sleeve t-shirt in the full sun, and even took a nap laying up there in the crater. It was beautiful, glorious views, and I was able to climb Mount Rainier one step at a time. And I shared this story with my client. And I talked to her again about something we talked about at the very beginning, is to not focus on the total distance, all the weight to lose. I said, don't worry about the 75 pounds. That all she really needed to focus on this week was 2 pounds. 2 pounds, that's 4 ounces a day. That's all she needed to focus on letting go of, was 4 ounces a day, 2 pounds a week. And just keep her focus on those 2 pounds, one step at a time. And next week, another 2 pounds, and the next week, another 2 pounds, and the next week, another 2 pounds. And pretty soon, she's going to be at her goal weight of 150 pounds. And for someone like myself that most of my life was overweight, 14, almost 15 years ago, I weighed almost 110 pounds more than I do now. That is such a glorious and joyous experience to reach your goal weight. And what's even more glorious is to be able to keep it off. And that's really what it's really all about, is living slender for life. And that's where the Slender for Life program and my book, Becoming Slender for Life, come in. And I teach you the tools and the skills of how to take the weight off and keep it off. 2 pounds at a time, one step at a time. Learning how to use self-hypnosis, using the light switch self-hypnosis technique, so that you learn to master your thoughts, master your emotions, and be in control, be in charge of you. So check out my book, Becoming Slender for Life, and the audio CDs that go with it. Give me a call, Roger Moore, at 206-903-1232, or shoot me an email, Roger, R-O-G-E-R, at hypnotherapists.com. And let me know how to support you in your journey. If you're in the Puget Sound area, come to my Seattle office or my Bainbridge Island office. Or I also do long-distance internet coaching and telephone coaching, assisting you in reaching your goals in life. So focus on the next step, one step at a time, and you'll reach your goal. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.